Islands from the Arctic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico are already suffering from the effects of rising sea levels. It's the focus of a new book, Sea Change, Atlas of Islands in a Rising Ocean. And joining us this morning is author and environmental journalist Christina Gerhardt, joining us live this morning to discuss your new book. Thank you so much for being here. I know you stopped in Portland, down there at one of my favorite bookstores, Powell's Books, and now you're up here in the Seattle area. First off, this book, really interesting. It weaves together art, science, maps, essays. Why did you decide to use this approach where you used all of these different kind of forms of writing and visuals?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brian. I decided to use all these different approaches because I think we have enough scientific reports. The science is really important. The reports are really important. I just don't think anyone's going to sit down on their couch on a weekend and relax by reading a science report. So I decided a coffee table book would be the best approach, and I kind of smuggled that, all these topics into this coffee table. I called the spoonful of sugar approach to this climate change issue.
Exactly. And some of the maps are striking in here. It shows what islands are looking like right now, and then you see what they're going to look like in 20 years and in 50 years based on current modeling and all of that. And the results there are really disturbing to show how much of these islands are going to be basically disintegrating away and being taken over by the water.
That's right, yeah. So I worked with cartographer Molly Roy on making the maps, and we show what they're like now, we show what they're like in 2050 and what they're going to be like in 2100. One of the maps that we have in the book is the Marshall Islands, Majuro, which you're showing right now. That's the capital island of the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands is in the Pacific Ocean. It's about 6.5 feet on average above sea level, and we have predictions by the U.S.'s National Climate Assessment Report that we're going to see up to 8 feet of sea level rise by 2100.
Wow. Now, here in the Pacific Northwest, I know a lot of people, people love living by the water, right? I mean, it's so gorgeous. There's a lot of homes on the water here in the Pacific Northwest as well,
yep.
And out on the ocean, too. What happens to those places?
Yeah, it's exactly what you mentioned that creates risks for people who love living on islands. They love living by the coastline for all sorts of obvious reasons, like to go swimming, fishing, sailing. And all of those kinds of impacts that we're going to have on islands that I document in my book are also going to be impacting locally. So we have erosion by waves that is happening naturally. The West Coast in the Northwest is going to be disproportionately impacted in terms of the U.S. The Gulf of Mexico and also the East Coast is going to be intensely impacted.
And what are some solutions to protect the islands from sea level rise? Is there anything we can do now at this point?
Yeah, thanks for that question. Nature-based solutions I talk about in my book, and that includes, it's also called soft engineering, that includes things like restoring and protecting wetlands, protecting oyster reefs, because they buffer that wave action that I was mentioning that creates erosion that takes away the coastline. You can also restore mangrove forests. That's something that's more for the tropical zone, like coral reefs.
All right, before I let you go, how can people find your book here?
They can go to University of California Press's website. That's the publisher of the book, and they have a page for Sea Change.
All right, Tina, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, Brian.
Hop and Liz, back to you.